today here. So in person, people have come less, but online we have a good number. So thank you again. And we have with us Mr. Sramit Chaudhary. He is also one of the alumni. Sorry for this. He is one of our students, and he is also working as a marketing manager in Group M. So he will be putting forth to the questions to Mr. Nithin. So please go for them. First floor.
Okay. So, hi Nithin. So, if I'd like to just, if you want to give a brief about yourself, how you have started your career journey into data analytics, and how you are currently working as a consultant in one of the renowned firm in India. So, if you
Yeah.
just let me give us an idea of from where the journey started and how it is going currently.
Yeah. Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity, and whoever joined in person, special thanks to you guys coming on a rainy day and sitting here, and also whoever joined only, thanks to you guys as well. So my name is Nithin, as you already know. I'm from a mechanical engineering background. So 2017, I completed my graduation. Then after that, 1 year I worked in that domain. Immediately, all instantly, I understood this is not something which I wanted to do on the long run. You know, you're from a mechanical engineering background, how difficult life can be. So after that, I came to know one of my senior. He had a similar background. So I met one of my seniors who had similar story. He done his mechanical engineering. Then after that, in the organization I was working, he moved to data analytics.
দিল না তো একটু ভালো করে মাসাজ কর হ্যাঁ ফোনটা চার্জে বসিয়ে দিন দাবিদে
Okay, so from him I came to know about data analytics at IB Professional School. Then I went to YouTube and started watching some of the videos. Then I came to know about Ishani ma'am, Pratik sir, and with the fees, the program they were offering, that was good. With the fees,
अनिल अंबानी उसका भाई है
then I thought anyway I'm sitting idle in the COVID times, so why can't I go ahead and pursue this program? So I joined data science with visualization program with IB. Initially, I learned Tableau, Excel, SQL. And speaking about Excel, I instantly fell in love with Excel. I started doing Excel dashboards. So even my managers, all those people came to know that I'm comfortable with Excel. So then gradually, I completed the program. It took me almost 11 months to complete the whole program. Then after that, I attended one of the interview through IV's recruitment program. I got selected for the role. Then I was about to resign. That is when my manager offered me another role within my organization. Then I moved into data analytics. There, primarily, I was working on Power BI, Excel, also on Power Platforms. If you are aware, I was using Power Automate, SharePoint, those kind of automations as well. That is how my data analytics career started. Then I went on to clear a few of the Microsoft certifications. So now I'm a Microsoft certified Power BI data analyst and a Microsoft certified Excel expert. So after completing all these programs, I went ahead and started attending interviews. I got multiple offers, to be precise, around 6 offers at that time. This was during the last year where the market was already slowing down. Companies were not hiring, but even at that time, I managed to get that many offers, and I was about to move to Hyderabad to join one of the leading FMCG companies. Then at the very last moment, I got another call from Wells Fargo. I attended their interviews. It was one of the toughest interviews I ever attended. Going through 5 technical rounds and clearing it was so difficult, but in the end, I felt it is worth it, and I went ahead and joined Wells Fargo. It's been almost 4 months in that organization. So that is my journey. So from mechanical engineering to doing data science visualization program in Ivy, then going ahead, starting to train people in Excel, then writing Microsoft examinations, clearing that, then moving to analytics in within my organization, now working with one of the leading banks. That's been my story.
Wonderful. It's really well curated, and you have almost covered a kind of a journey of any kind of people who want to look out this particular domain and they want to know about how these things works from a perspective of a fresh graduate or something, how they want to take their career moving forward in data science or data analytics. Moving forward, like you just mentioned that you cracked a interview and a cracked a job from IB itself. If you just like to highlight that kind of a thing, what's the role about and how the interview process goes on that particular situation and what you feel about that particular entire process.
Okay. So even before explaining about the interview process, we did one internship with Ivy where it was about Excel visualization using Excel. So I did that internship and that project went ahead and people liked it. And Ivy posted that in YouTube channel. And that is where I started feeling, okay, now I'm decently good with data visualization. Then instead of staying in the same organization, I thought, why not go ahead and give an interview? Then another company, I don't want to mention the name, they came to the campus and the role was for Tableau developer. Okay. They had just one technical round, another managerial round. So I went through both the rounds and then I accepted the offer. But then again, the God had a different plan, so I couldn't join the organization. But that was my first transition experience.
Okay, great. So you have just mentioned couple of
না তাই না ও যে ল্যাপটপ কিনবে বলছিল যে কিনবে বলছিল ওই মেয়েটা ও এসছে আমি জানি না যে কল করে না আমি বললাম হ্যাঁ বলো ল্যাপটপ কেনা হয়ে গেছে
Please go.
Yes. So,
आप लोग अनम्यूट हो, आपका आवाज पूरा
yeah. So you just mentioned couple of tools, right? So about that particular thing, right? You just mentioned Excel, that is a well known for each and every person who are something got a exposure on internet or something or the Windows. But other than that, like the visualization, Tableau or something like that. So what kind of the major tool that helped you to get your first job in data analytics? If you just highlight that particular fact.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, the first interview was for Tableau developer role. There, their expectation was you have to be proficient in both Excel and Tableau.
Okay.
Then the first role which I actually chose and joined, there the skill set expectation was Power BI. Along with that, they wanted somebody who is proficient with Excel and little bit of VBA. So
Okay.
to summarize, one was Tableau, other was Power BI, Excel, and VBA was an expectation.
Okay, so Tableau and Power BI both are the visualization, right?
Yes.
So you got a before joining that particular job, so you have an expertise on both the visualization tool alongside with the Excel as well.
No, I was sufficiently good with Tableau, but I didn't have any hands-on experience with Power BI.
Okay.
I learned Power BI through IB's program, but I didn't have any hands-on experience.
Okay.
But they were confident on my first. So as the recruitment process, they gave me a project in Excel itself. So I had to do the visualization in Excel.
Okay.
And they understood, and even as people, you should understand,
Okay.
tool is just a medium
Correct.
to express. The actual skill set is visualization. For example, imagine you are planning to compare two kind of data,
Okay.
then whether to use column chart or pie chart, or when you want to show a progress over a period of time, when to use line chart. These are the skill set. Whether to use Power BI or Tableau, this based on company's requirement, you might have to switch. Even I have seen people still using ClickView for visualization. So that we can't be adamant about which tool I like the most. That you have to be a little flexible. But if you're good with visualization and your concepts are clear, then I think toggling between the tools are easy.
Understood. So basically, if you just summarize this particular point, so in the data analytics industry, so you need to be big flexibility and to adapt a new thing. For the adaptability, both the skills should be on point, so that each and everything what comes up, let's say some new tool or something which is coming up in near future, so that you can start working with that. So getting it more reluctant with your own kind of what's it what hardcore skill that what you have. So you need to be a bit more adaptability friendly on that particular new skill set as well.
Exactly. So it's good to be expert in another tool. So for example, now I consider myself an intermediate or an expert in Power BI. But if you ask me to do a project in Tableau or Excel, I'm fine with it. So you have to have that flexibility, but having an expertise on one tool, that also good.
Correct, correct. So I'll just take you from the entire job journey. I just want to ask you a feedback or kind of your when you are joined this IB at 2000 when it's a 19 or 20
I
batch?
think 19.
19 batches, correct. So 19 batch. So how was your overall experience? Like how the curriculum was like overall focus on the curriculum? Is it already aligned with your job that you have got at that particular moment? And how's your overall experience throughout the course?
Yeah. So I started my program with Excel.
Okay.
That was a weekday batch and weekday evening batch. So I was doing my job and I was attending 1 hour class. Then after completing Excel, I think we had around 12 classes for Excel module. Then after that went down and started attending SQL modules. Then after that Tableau, then Power BI, Python, R. So except R, I think I was very dedicated student for all other modules. Even now also there are people who in my certificate R is mentioned, but I don't know a single word of R. But other than that, I was dedicated and sincere with all other tools. So in terms of experience, maybe Excel took me around 1 month to complete. SQL we had around 18 or 19 sessions, which took around 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
Power BI also similar. So all together it took around 11 months. And Excel, SQL, and Power BI was my primary skills, and I was decently good with Python.
Okay, okay, well enough. So primarily the major three skill that you have got exposed with in during the session or the classes with IB, there was Excel, Power BI, and SQL.
Correct.
Okay, and this particular, I'm coming from the web because I want to understand like what is the primary tool or the expertise that we need for the current situation to get a decent amount of job from the market and to make everyone to place who are currently a part of IB or want to be a part of IB. So this is the primary skill that majorly that the employer look out to any of the candidate who want to work in the data analytics industry.
Okay. So again, with your number of years of experience, the expectations will change.
Okay.
But if you're looking for an entry level job,
Yes.
knowing Excel, it's given. It's like knowing PowerPoint. You have to know Excel. Your job may require it, may not require it. That is fine. But then SQL and one visualization tool. So if you don't know any visualization tool, I would recommend you to start with Power BI. But if you already know Tableau, then okay, spend more time on Tableau and be an expert in it. But just to summarize, knowing Excel, SQL, and one visualization tool can help you land in your first job.
Correct, correct. Wonderful. So we got exactly by the conversation of our almost, so we have spent a good amount of time on this particular scenario, like from where like what we can expect out of this data analytics and something. But we have some of the questions in our chat box, something which is related to the people. Let's say if you want to address some of the person whom you met in a situation or met in a corporate event or something who are from other domain, right? Maybe they are from HR professional or from let's say marketing or something. If you want to summarize data analytics as an industry in a like 2 3 sentence, what will be your primary topic that will cover on the data analytics part?
Okay, excellent question. So speaking about data analytics can be very vast. If you speak about data visualization, it is just a process of converting a normal static data into a useful information. Just for example, imagine you have digital well-being application on your phone, right?
Correct.
You're just going and checking which are the applications you spend the most time. So you will see YouTube 1 hour, Instagram 1 hour, WhatsApp 1 hour. So you will see all this data. When you are just looking at the static data, it is useless. But just imagine you have a pie chart or a column chart telling you spend 3 hours on YouTube, a long bar. Then you are telling you spend 2 hours on WhatsApp or 1 hour on call. Now you instantly know if you want to reduce your usage, phone usage, you have to go and look at the biggest, longest column. That is YouTube. So same way, initially it was a static, useless information. Now you converted that into a visualization and you got some actionable insight from it. So basically, data visualization is the process of converting useless data or static data or tabular data into a useful, actionable information.
Correct. Correct. Understood. So this from this particular question, I have a follow up thing that I'd like to know. So that data visualization is something that is it's a part to visualize the particular tool in a graphical format.
Correct.
If I, in a layman's language, right? What I've understood.
Yes, correct.
But if I want to structure that data, then we need to implement the SQL and Excel.
Correct.
Okay. So in that particular segment for the as a data analytics as a whole domain, how much percentage will contribute to the each of the category on that particular front? So that my of this particular question is that so I do understand three of the category is much more important and equally important to be as a data analytics as a whole as a starting point. But anyhow, like which point we fresher student need to stress on like that will by focusing on that particular point so that in near future while in the job they will not uh, face some kind of difficulties on the initial days.
Yeah, understood. So again, all of us get interest in data visualization looking at the fancy chart. Everything looks so colorful.
Correct.
Everything is so heavenly. But
Yeah.
that is not how it is. When you get the data, you will have so many data sources. You don't even know what the end user want. They will come to you telling, we have this many data sources, we have this many data, do something with it. So you will be spending like 60-70% of your job cleaning this data. So most of the time the cleaning, the ETL process happens. Now we have Power Query in Power BI to do that. Or sometimes you will be doing that in SQL. Or if the data is small, you will be doing that in Excel. Or there are situations where you will be using tools like Alteryx, those kind of things for ETL. That is like 70% of your part data. Then after cleaning the data, you get the data in a standard format or the tabular format in which you want. Then you will create a layout. What exactly the people are expecting. For example, what I recommend is instead of building the whole dashboard and going to end user with this and asking for feedback, you can create a layout in PowerPoint or even you can handwritten and draw in it in a paper and show this is how the dashboard going to look. Then after that, take feedback, change the layout in a paper or a PowerPoint. Then only after knowing the exact expectations, now the end user and you are in agreement what exactly you are going to deliver. Now your data cleaning part is done. Speaking with the customer, understanding the domain part, that also done. Only then 10 to 20% of your time you are going to spend in creating this visualization. And all the fun things like designing, changing color, this, that, all the fancy things happens in this stage. But don't come into data analytics thinking this charts looks beautiful. That is not how it is. Data is very dirty. Making it beautiful is our job.
Okay, so basically first your 50% of the chunk of the thing will be going to make the data ready for the visualization part.
Correct.
For that particular for to making the data right, we need to implement SQL as well as from the Excel. Both the tool we need to use of and we need to have a basic understanding on that particular front as well.
Yes.
Okay, so that is one of the things that I want to know because people often come with a certain question and we also receive this kind of question or like people out there on online session like from where we need to start. So for the starting point that we what you can suggest like we need to start with like how IB modules are set up that it will start the people who are having a non-IT background, they will start from Excel, or people who are having from IT background, they might start on Excel or SQL, any one of that. So what's your take on that? Like if you just bifurcate on the industry or the background basis of the student, if someone is coming from non-IT, let's say arts, commerce or something, and people are coming from the purely science background or the engineering background, what do you suggest on that particular so that what I feel if some non-IT background they just take up a course from SQL, they will exhaust themselves very quickly. So, what's your take on that particular point?
Yeah, a lot of it is our mental barrier.
Correct.
We think if I am from arts background, if I am from commerce background, I can't do it. Only engineers are good with numbers, only they can learn. First, you have to take this perception out of your head. Anybody can learn. And I always recommend people to start with Excel. It does two things to you. One, your logic building gets strong. Maybe I'm a little bit biased towards Excel because almost 2 years I spent working on Excel. But I always recommend people to start doing that.
Okay.
One, you will understand, are you made for this? There are people they don't want to touch data, they don't want to learn technical. So if you start by Excel, you will instantly understand, is it something you can do or not? Then your logic building becomes very strong. After that, transitioning that skill. For example, if you know how to use any function in Excel, then when you start using SQL, it's just about what is the syntax. So understanding syntax difference is very easy, but logic building and even the removing that mental barrier is the difficult part. Just to summarize, your background doesn't matter, your willingness to sit and learn, that only matters.
Understood. So this is one of the burning question that what we used to face on a day to day as like online session as well as offline session. People used to come like data analysis, something which is only meant for the engineers or the science background. Like I'm from the arts background and I used to coming from English literature, right? Can I start my career into this? So this question like coming from that particular front only, but where you have answered and structured this thing, I hope that everybody will get a clarity on this. On this particular, on this note, I'd like to closure of this session. Anyone, we have multiple people in our offline center as well. Anyone want to have anything in their mind regarding data analytics, anything in the under the universe, if you want to discuss, feel free to discuss with him because he is the person who is currently in the industry and he will be the best person to guide you on. Anything you want to?
Yeah. Before starting one thing, I could see so many serious faces sitting in front of me. And I believe online people also having that very serious stoic expression. You don't have to do that. We are here as an interaction with a friend. So I'm not like 45 years old and sitting here to give you gyan. No, whatever you want to ask, even if it's the silliest, stupidest question, please feel free to ask. We will discuss.
Yeah, please. I just try to. If you want to have anything in your mind.
See, basically, whoever comes to this field takes it as a career. They all are, done their bachelors in different streams because there's no bachelors in data. So,
Correct.
So it's like they are either commerce background, engineering background, arts background, pharmacy background. So they all have that same question that will we be able to do it? Will we make a career in this? Will the company accept us as an experienced person or as a fresher? So this is the first thing that strikes everybody's mind, that is this field going to accept us, or is the jobs that come in this they will consider us.
Yeah.
So this is the one question which is there in everybody's mind. So what is your take on this?
Yeah. Again, a very valid question. So if you are already experienced in one domain, just imagine I'm working in finance domain. I'm coming to this field without any background of finance. So around 50% of my time goes in understanding finance. But just imagine somebody with a BCom background or an MBA in finance comes to this field. They already know the technical skill and they already studied finance. So if they are coming to this field, nobody can compete with them because they already have the domain knowledge because they graduated in that field and they already spend some time learning the technical skill. So any background you are coming from doesn't matter, especially in this era where we have ChatGPT, everything to help you. So the technical skill is always going to be the easier part, but the domain knowledge is the hard thing to learn. So if you any background, if you are from science, pharma, all this field has an analytics company also. Pharma companies also has analytics roles, finance company also has analytics roles. Your domain knowledge can be used for doing something great. So don't think if you have 10 years in another background, you are coming to data, is it going to be worth it? 100% is going to be worth it. And the techno-functional role where you already have the functional expertise, plus you are learning technical, you are going to be an asset to any organization. So no need to have that thought. Your experience is valid and along with the technical skills, you are going to be an asset.
Wonderful. So this particular question, if I like, my last question will be just before the closure of this conversation. I'll ask you that you have like mentioned that the domain related knowledge or the practices. So I just want to understand how this domain related practices that what you have covered in your code during the course. How far it's affected in your you have got a chance to implement in your entire job role that you have been cracked on that particular period of time.
Yeah. So for this, I will take one example from the internship I mentioned.
Okay.
So I did data science visualization internship here.
Okay.
So I completed the internship, and the very next week, for my first role, the expectation from my company was they gave me a data set and they wanted to create a visualization in Excel. I already did one internship here The very next week, the company is asking me to create another visual here.
Okay.
My template, idea, technical skills, everything is already set.
Okay.
So when they gave me 1 week to complete the project, and I was able to, because I already have the template ready.
Correct.
So I was able to deliver the project in 2-3 days, and they were very impressed by the project, and I couldn't, and immediately I got that offer. So same way, don't think everything you're learning in the same way you are going to use it in office. No, there might be changes. The actual data we are using going to be more complex, but the technical skill you learn, it's going to help you. And if you might have came across all the scenarios, whatever the problems we can come across, that you already did in the as a part of the program. Then the other things, there are seniors to help, there are other experts to help, you can seek their help and do it. So it's always going to be a combination, but work life is going to be slightly different, but the learning is 100% going to help you.
Correct. So basically, we need to majorly focus on the two things, that is the logic and the concept building.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
other than that, everything, if you have this, both the pillars is clear, then we can implement in any of the thing that we are getting in your corporate or whatever it is. So you can easily pass through that.
Exactly. Yes.
Anyhow, so can we close the session?
Anybody wants to ask anything?
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nithin.
Yeah, just as a summarizing note, one, thank you so much for inviting me for this session. It was great interacting with you. First of all, data science is a field which is ever evolving. It's the right time to get into, but if you have the right mindset, if you can spend every day 1 hour, 2 hour learning, then nobody can stop you from growing. And there is no limitation to the money you are going to make also. That is again a big motivation. So grind for a few years, you will get everything you want. And thank you.
Thank you.
Correct. Okay.
Sorry, just a question.
Yeah, please.
By any prediction, when will this field come to a saturation?
Yeah.
Just asking. Out of curiosity.
Yeah. If you're asking for a timeline, I don't know. But one thing I also want to tell, there was a time where people just know Excel, and with that Excel, they were working for 25 years. They know SQL, and with that SQL skill, they just went through their career. That is not going to happen. Now, every 1 year, 2 year, the technology is going to change. Now, your adaptability is going to be a big factor. Every 2 year, 3 year, you might have to transition into learning more and more things. So, the challenge which is going to be in front of you is you have to study all the time, you have to be updated. But this field, I don't think it ever get saturated. And if you are worried about the AI bots taking your job away, to explain something to AI bot, you need someone who knows the data. So data analyst is going to be in demand forever. At least in the next 10 to 20 years, you can be sure about it. But the tool we use might change.
Requirement? I mean, you think that does it make a difference if a person is graduate or
If you are looking at going to attend interviews, then graduation is an expectation. I have seen even one of my friend who did diploma, he was attending interviews, but from almost all the companies, having a graduation was an expectation. But if you're asking me, you are in your second year of third year of college and you are doing data science. So when you are out of college, you already have the skill. If that is the question, 100% go ahead and do it. By the time you complete your graduation, you will have the skills. But if you're asking graduation in today's India's situation, companies are still looking for graduates. It doesn't really make sense. If you're really good at your technical skill, companies should hire people even without graduation, but unfortunately that's not a ground reality. If you're looking for a job, mostly they will expect you to have a graduation. Maybe there might be some,
like Bangalore is a hub for startups, so they are
there might be, yes.
As a
That is what, even I don't want to tell you like you will never get a job. No, nothing like that. The best option is you just go to Naukri and look for a job opening. If you're looking for a data analytics opening, just enter for the job title, filter by the experience. If you're seeing roles which is asking you to have a graduation, then you obviously got the answer. But if you are companies which is not specifying this criteria, then you still have a chance. So it's as simple as that. I don't want to tell straightforward anything because there will be exceptions. Yeah.